in the situation where I went off to college, and one highlight of my college career was transferring from a large PWI to a small WSSU to a small HBCU. And in this experience, I learned a lot about myself. I think college in general just teaches you a lot about yourself. You're able to explore your self-identity, grow into an adult. But in my personal experience, transferring from a large PWI to a small HBCU, it was very beneficial for me because it taught me that I'm no longer just a number. And I'm no longer just a fish in a large sea, but at the HBCU I went to and graduated from, I am now seen as an individual. I am now valued as an individual, and that played a large, that impacted my life in a large way. So when it comes to like mental health with college students, I can see how in the past it has not been a priority. However, I definitely see the changes that colleges around America have made in our communities to value the mental health of college students. But there has been a transition, I will say.
Mm-hmm. I don't even remember if we had a counselor on campus. When
Hello, and welcome back to Speaking with Gravity. We're in a new season right now, actually. Yeah, clap,
season
clap.
9.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment, y'all.
It is. So season 9, y'all, it's been a journey. This is our second season together, right? As a group, which is beautiful. Except this young man right here. He wasn't with us last. He wasn't with us. He was with us. But he was kind of in the background a little bit. Y'all know this young man. Y'all know this young man right here, right?
He's been here since day one, y'all.
Yeah. He needs no introduction, but we're going to have him introduce ourselves. I'm going to go down the line. I'm your host, Joshua.
I'm Curvin.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm Hannah. I'm here.
My bad.
He excited, y'all.
He been on the microphone a while.
He excited, y'all.
It's been a minute. I didn't even let you say your name, but my bad. I'm sorry.
He came through and said, "I'm Curvin."
We're good.
I'm Terrence.
Cut. No, I'm just playing. We'll go back down though. For some people,
that just describes the Speaking with Gravity show. We're very lighthearted yet serious about mental health issues.
Clean it up for us, Hannah. Clean it up.
That's what I'm here for.
Yes, ma'am. But yeah, it's your host, Joshua.
Yes, I'm Hannah Williams.
And I'm Curvin.
And I'm Terrence.
Beautiful. It's another episode, y'all. We have a really
we got to keep that in too.
Please let's keep it in. We have a really engaging topic today, I believe. But I think Terrence gonna start us off, man. Terrence got some stuff been on his mind. Well, on the people's mind, I think.
The people want to know.
What the people want to know.
New segment, huh?
All right. The people want to know. Is putting your Cash App on social media begging? That's all. I'm starting off with that. Is putting your Cash App on social media considered begging?
Woo. Well, that's tough, right there.
I believe it depends on the context. If you know that there is not a financial need, and you're consistently putting your Cash App on, your post just for extra income, then that's not a need. That's just a want, and that is begging. However, if the context is that, an emergency situation just happened, or any situation where you need extra support from your community, maybe in a financial way, then I don't see that as begging. I see that as reaching out to the individuals that can help you make a change in your life.
I like that because you said your community. Now, a lot of times we feel comfortable asking our family members for money, our friends, right? So sometimes when we're in need, because that's our community, right? But in today's day and age, people are on Facebook more than they're engaging with Facebook more than they're engaging with their family. Sometimes young people, sometimes not necessarily myself, but I have peers that
older people too.
Yeah, older people too, and I mean, that's what they do, which is I can't say anything against it. So that's their community. Mm-hmm. That becomes their community. If I'm engaging with you that much, then that's my community at that point. So I can kind of see how someone would feel comfortable with it, is what I'll say.
And sometimes it's not even that person that actually put it up. it be other people in their community that says, we want to help do something for you. So how about this idea? And some people are some people will say it's prideful, so it'd be hard for them to even ask their own community or put it out to the larger world for help. And I think if we was to try to look down on them because they're asking for help, that kind of probably reinforces that nobody's going to help me type of mentality. So I really don't think it's considered begging if it's done with the best intentions.
Right.
So that's my take on that part.
I agree.
Kirby, how you feel, man?
I don't particularly like it, but listening to y'all perspective is kind of changing my perspective on it. Because I like when you say community. It's a part of, and this is people's community now, social media and the people that are following them. So looking at it from that perspective, I can understand it. But my immediate, when he said it just a second ago, it's like, nah, you begging. I mean, because again, I'm a little bit older, so my generation, I'm looking at it like me going into a family gathering and saying, hey, y'all know I'm in college. Can I hit some $5? Now, I'll go with the thought of I'm hoping that my aunt give me some money, my grandma give me some money. But typically, I'm not going to go in and say, hey, can I get some money? Unless it's grandma or unless it's mama and dad. Like, you got select people, you'll just ask straight up. But with cash, when you put your cash app out there, it's like, all right, I'm putting it out here and I'm asking, and whoever gives it, gives it. But there again, going back to what y'all was saying about community, I can get with that. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I'm hoping my seeds don't do that. But if they do, okay.
I'm so glad you acknowledged the generational gaps.
Yeah.
Cash App became a concept during the millennial age, to say. So us millennials, I'm a millennial myself, but I grew up, going to college, and our method of transferring money to each other was Cash App. And then it extended to my parents, which are baby boomers, and they're like, oh, you're up in college. It's convenient to send you money via Cash App. But like you said, that's limited. Those are my parents, and I'm not, publicly posting my Cash App and saying, hey, I need y'all to donate, when I know in actuality I don't need. So that goes back to my initial point that we have to, or I think it's important to separate needs from wants.
Because you got some people that post, I've seen posts for charities. Some people ask stuff for charities, their birthdays. They had some type of medical emergency and they need help with bills, funeral costs. So those are some of the things that I've seen people post for. And like I said, some of those things, they're, like Hannah just said, they're a need, right? Like, oh, I didn't expect to be out of work and I don't have, proper short-term or long-term disability insurance. And, I would, like you said, that person might not have put it up, but somebody else might have put it up for that person to help them. And I can understand that. And then also funeral costs. I don't know exactly how much it costs to bury somebody, but I know it ain't cheap.
It's a lot.
Right? Yeah. And some people, they're not set up to cover those costs, for whatever reason. And I can get what Kirby is saying too, like, oh, it just seems like you're begging because of, when you put it up, how you put it up, what you're saying in the comments about, or say in the caption about why it's up. It can come off as begging. It just depends on to me, on the situation.
And then too, you have resources. You have local resources, community resources. No, you don't have resources to give you your birthday money. But if it's somebody who's out of work or who's late on bills, there are resources out there. Did you go that resource route? And I know it's red tape to jump through, but if you want it that bad, you'll jump through those red tapes, right, to get what you need but it's so much easier to say, here's my Cash App, I got this situation going on. Well, I got situations going on. I want help with bills. I got 4 kids. I want help helping them. So I don't know. Where do you draw the line? That goes back to this book, Setting Boundaries, the 5 P's. Like where you draw the line? For me, I'm typically gonna just scroll on by, unless I know the person and then I know the situation directly.
All right.
Who are y'all seeing? Can I ask a question? are y'all seeing? So I want to kind of separate it because it can't be like an organization, someone asking for a specific reason, right? But I see people, and this might be the people you may be talking about, Kirby, but folks who will get on there and just ask.
Yeah.
Like it's not really their birthday or nothing like that. Just post their cash out. Sometimes maybe it will be their birthday, and so I wasn't initially thinking about people who are doing it for worthy causes. So if we think about that, do y'all see diversity in the type of people who ask for these, who do that, or is it pretty much the same people with the same type with the same type of
mentality,
characteristics, and could be income, could be race, could be different demographics.
Yeah, I think I see diversity. So because it's not just people asking money for their birthday or just asking money just because. Like Terrence was saying about funerals and funeral costs. It's anywhere. Taylor. My younger brother is into the funeral business.
Go see him. Well,
we don't want you to go see him no time soon.
If you have a need.
Yeah, if you have a need. But I was going to say it was about $6,000, but it looks like it's closer to 10. So anywhere between I guess $6,000 and $10,000 is the cost for funeral. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm seeing that. But I'm also seeing birthdays. I'm also seeing help me in college. Mm-hmm. I'm also seeing, like he was saying, with bills. Mm-hmm. So it is for me, I'm seeing a diverse. But in that diversity, then you wonder, are they just making this story up?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or is it literally that case? Now, that part, I don't know.
And you also wonder, I think, who do they expect to reach out to them? Like, are they thinking about the consequences of somebody who do give them money? Now this person going to constantly be in their inbox. I mean, they can block them, but somebody almost start stalking you because I done gave you $100 now for your light bill.
I gave you 20.
And I'm
Sam gave you 20.
I gave you 20 now.
He looking for you.
Hey.
So like, are they thinking about that too?
And I'm older than you guys, right? So Facebook for my age group is the probably the go-to social media app, right? Mm-hmm. And so in Facebook, you have these Facebook groups, right? And I'm in a lot of professional groups, but there's also these groups for like men and relationships. And then you'll see in these groups, that's supposed to be a social environment, you'll hear somebody say, hey, down on my luck, my car messed up, and I need to get to work, and this is my cash out. Give whatever you can. Mm-hmm. And you will see 5 to 10 people give $5, $10. That's a quick 100 turnaround, $100 turnaround in that day.
Yeah.
My pride is gonna affect me, so I won't do it. But that's a come up. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like somebody being on the corner and being like, "Hey, whatever you can give me, I don't have a job. Whatever you can give me, you give me." You stand there long enough, you're gonna get you $150, $200, and you ain't did nothing that day. So that's what I'm thinking about from that Cash App on social media perspective. Like I'm real, and maybe it's because of my age, I'm real hesitant. Like I'm feeling like somebody's always scamming, and I don't live in Atlanta.
Right. So relating to our topic of college students, if you know a person is in college, do you feel like it's appropriate or okay for the student, their parent, or someone close to them to post their Cash App in hopes of receiving financial support for the college student?
Me, I'm more prone to give to a college student. One, you're in a place where you're trying to get better. Mm-hmm. And especially if you've been there, it's not just your freshman year, it's your sophomore year, your junior year. All right, you've shown that you're making the grades, and whether you end up graduating or not, you're showing where you can do the work. So I'm gonna support you from that standpoint. And then there again, looking at your background, like what parents you come from, what kind of environment you come from, are your parents able to help you? My kids, not saying that I'm rich or anything, but if they put out there on social media that they need money for school and nobody gives to them, there's going to be a perception that, they don't need it based on that. And so I might not give if I'm perceiving your family to be as well-to-do as me or better. I might not give. Hannah right here,
True,
she was in school.
true testimony here, y'all. I was just about to mention it.
If Hannah's in school, I'm not just finna give money to Hannah because me and her family are cool, and I think we kind of wrap that together. Like they got you, I don't need to get you. That's harsh, but that's my thought process because I also got kids. If I'm giving my money to somebody else and possibly taking it from my kids. But if I got extra money now, she can certainly get it.
He did have extra money before.
Yeah.
He helped out with some laundry.
Break out with a little bit. Break out with a little bit.
I need a little something right now, Kirk.
No, I can't.
Are you begging? Are you
I'm
begging?
just saying.
You too grown.
You want my cash out? You want my cash
Look,
out?
I want to stay on college students, but I do got a question. We can relate it to college students. So if you see your loved one, on social media posting their cash app, would you tell them to take it down?
No. I don't tell nobody to do. Even if I don't agree with it, that's not my place to necessarily tell you to take
Your
it
kid
down.
who's in college?
Huh? My kid?
Your child who's in college. How about? I said loved one, but how about your child who's in college?
He gonna say take it down.
I don't know. My wife might. She
Yeah.
might not allow me to say take it down, but I'm gonna fuss at him.
Because at the end of the day, it's that perception, right? Like you said,
It's not just perception, but it's did you go through all the proper avenues?
Well, I'm saying people are gonna
Resources.
say.
I don't care about what they saying or that perception. My thought process is, son, did you ask me first? And then when I say I didn't got that I don't have it, why did I say I don't have it? Did you go to nanny? Did you go to your grandma, your other grandma? Did you go to your uncles?
The resources on campus too.
Yeah, resources on campus. Like when you think about this, if you come from a close knit family and you put that out there, you're telling the world, none of my close knit family members are able to help me in this situation.
That's
so
what I'm
now
saying.
I'm coming to you.
That perception. Not that you're worried about what people are saying, but still, it looks like we don't take care of our kids.
Okay.
So that perception, I'm telling them take it down.
Okay.
Take that down.
I want to. I don't know what my wife gonna say.
Well, you gotta consider.
Thanks for considering your
Did
wife.
he go through the proper channels
Yeah.
before he told them to take it down?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
he just said.
Yeah.
Okay,
Did I go through the proper
follow
steps?
that.
Yeah.
So what's our topic today, y'all?
You brought it up. I thought it was. I thought it was a great transition. If we can go to the QD of the hour.
Yeah. So our topic is mental health tips for students.
Yeah.
Our QD of the hour, which is this quotable data, are another version of fun facts that you can share with your colleagues, family members, or even friends. Over 2/3 of young people do not talk about or seek help for mental health problems. I'll repeat that. Over 2/3 of young people do not talk about or seek help for their mental health problems. 44% of college students in America report feeling symptoms of depression, and our source comes from CAPS.
Yeah. That was surprising to me
2/3.
It's a lot.
to hear that. Is now again different generation, but when I went out to school, I was just so excited to be there, and I'm away from home. Shout out to my mom and dad, but I came up in a very strict environment. So the freedom alone was like, okay, I'm good. You know, as long as I can get these grades out the way, I'm good. But it's amazing to see 2/3 are not able to talk about it.
Talk about what?
Mental health problems.
So
whatever
I wonder
that
how
is.
they're defining mental health problems.
So when she went on, she said 44% of college students in America reported feeling symptoms of depression.
Okay.
I typically work with anxiety, and I have had some college students that I've worked with anxiety, more so than depression. Although you do see it, but that was my thought process. I didn't mean to cut across you, Hannah, but
Oh,
that
no,
was
you're
my thought
fine.
process.
Yeah, this topic is very relevant because I've spent my share of time in college, and in my personal experience, I've been in the situation where I went off to college, and one highlight of my college career was transferring from a large PWI to a small WSSU to a small HBCU. And in this experience, I learned a lot about myself. I think college in general just teaches you a lot about yourself. You're able to explore your self-identity, grow into an adult. But in my personal experience, transferring from a large PWI to a small HBCU, it was very beneficial for me because it taught me that I'm no longer just a number. And I'm no longer just a fish in a large sea, but at the HBCU I went to and graduated from, I am now seen as an individual. I am now valued as an individual, and that played a large, that impacted my life in a large way. So when it comes to like mental health with college students, I can see how in the past it has not been a priority. However, I definitely see the changes that colleges around America have made in our communities to value the mental health of college students. But there has been a transition, I will say.
I don't even remember if we had a counselor on campus when I was in school. I mean, we might have. I don't remember it.
I know we had one, but did I ever go? No.
So why is that? Why don't young people seek
Well, I mean, I
help
know
with
I
their
just
mental health problem?
at that time, I'll speak for myself, and I now think back about it because I work in a college counseling center now as well, and you do see an influx of anxiety, depression, people struggling with academics, struggling with social anxiety, things like that. And then I think back to my college experience where, I probably could have used some counseling to help with a few things. I ain't gonna lie, to be honest about it. Whether that was, depression at sometimes or feeling anxiety about certain situations that I actually, put myself in. Let's just be honest about it. But I just never went because I think growing up, it was just something that we didn't really put too much attention on or effort in. And also growing up, I've seen how some of my family members would probably handle certain problems with mental health, and I just assumed that particular behavior. And that particular behavior was to suppress, move on, even when you're okay, or even when you're not okay, you say you're okay, and that's just what I assumed. But then as I got older, I've learned how those different behaviors was not benefiting me anymore, and I started to make a conscious decision to do something different. So I think it just depends on how you were brought up. Like you say, strict environment, right? Mm-hmm. So the environment you were brought up with, the people you were brought up with,
definitely,
the experiences you've had inside the home and outside of the home. I think all those things contribute to when you are on your own, out in college, and have that freedom if I'm going to reach out for help because of the beliefs I have about reaching out for help. So.
And I just want to acknowledge, we're talking about the mental health of college students. I just want to acknowledge that there are so many various reasons as to why college students struggle with their mental health: academic issues, bullying, peer pressure, feeling homesick, just to name a few. I personally went through issues, financial issues. I went through a combination of all, because if you're a college student, you're focused on college and not really working. So in my experience, I went through a combination of all of that, and collectively, my mental health suffered. My mental health suffered. So I just want to acknowledge that it may not just be one reason why the mental health of a college student is struggling. It may be various reasons that are adding up.
Yeah, if I can piggyback off of that, when I think about my undergrad experience, it was wild because I went in on a conditional basis, right? So, which I don't know what they call it now, but basically I didn't have the GPA out of high school, but I had high SAT scores.
All right.
So they accepted me on a conditional basis, and I had to maintain, I think it was it was either 2.0 or 2.5. I can't remember. And I ended up getting a 3.0 that first semester. But in that first semester, I don't know what I'm going to get. So the pressure is on. Like, I'm doing my work, but I'm really worried, oh, man, can I make this conditional GPA in order to stay here because I like it here? And then I ended up getting back on academic probation. That's neither here nor there.
He's here now, y'all.
You got that 3-0 and then said, "Oh, I got this."
And really, for real, that's exactly what happened. After that, I was like, "Oh, I can do this. This is easy." And so I fluctuated throughout my college career and just having good grades and then having bad grades and hanging out and having a good time. But then it came down to finances. There was one time I was homeless for a couple of weeks, and I was homeless again. On me, not jumping through the red tape, not doing the work. I was living with a set of friends, and their parents were paying the rent, but we were contributing, and the parents was like, "All right, y'all can't have that many people in that apartment complex because ultimately it's in my name." It was 1, 2,
in there
3,
deep.
4. I think it was 5 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
About 7 of them.
But it was
4 of them.
it was in mom's name, one of the guys' mom's name, and she was like, "Nah, y'all can't, y'all can't do that." So I ended up getting kicked out by my friend and sleeping on couches, and I could have used some help then because I really didn't know. I was fake independent. I really didn't know. What am I do? What's my next move? Because I don't want to go back on campus.
Were you talking to moms about it too?
No.
You weren't talking to
Right.
moms?
I wasn't talking to mom. I wasn't talking to anybody other than like my group of friends, and we were just trying to figure out what we were going to do. And I ended up getting an apartment off campus. But then the one that I really needed help for outside of that was my dad passed away the semester before my senior year. And so, and even now I still get choked up like 20-something years later. But
That's understandable.
That was all of a sudden. He wasn't sick. It wasn't like we was expecting it. It just, boom, it just happened one day. I didn't go to school for like 2 weeks. I ain't called, just oblivious to the responsibilities connected to calling somebody and saying, "Hey, I've been out because my dad passed away, haven't been able to come to class, didn't want to see anybody other than to hang out," right? And I didn't get help. That goes back to what Terrence said. He said the word suppress. I ultimately, during that time period, actually for the next 2 years, I suppressed that grieving because I ended up graduating, and the only thing that allowed me to graduate was I got to do it for him. Granted, he ain't even here. He don't even know I graduated. To this day, he don't know I graduated. But at that moment, that helped me get to the graduation, right? But I'm suppressing the feelings. And how am I suppressing the feelings? I'm suppressing the feelings with every party that came. I wanted to be there. It was the week start on Monday, ends on Sunday. I'm out Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night with different sets, different groups of friends. People I don't even really like that. I don't really know like that. And they might not like or know me. But anything not to be at home inside of those 4 walls having to think about my dad not being here anymore. So I really needed it then and didn't do it. It goes back to shame, how you grew up. I didn't grow up knowing that, oh, you can go to therapy for grief. It was like, you just wait it out.
Yeah.
And, my way of waiting it out at that time was alcohol and fighting and, okay, not fighting, Peyton.
Would you say you were depressed? I guess functionally depressed?
I was grieving. I wasn't depressed. And, I don't want to get too technical here, but the thought is you're not diagnosed with depression when you're grieving. Okay. Because grieving is the absence of, there's a loss there, right? And you're adapting to that loss. And in that adaptation, many things can happen. Sometimes you can be social withdrawal. It can be, trying to overcompensate and just keep yourself busy and so on and so forth. But it's not necessarily depression. But if you stay there long enough, it can kind of lead to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna add an input to that, and I appreciate you sharing your personal experience. I feel like a lot of college students, once they go off to college, they have this identity of now I'm an adult, now I can do things by myself. I want that independence. I value that independence, which brings me to my next point of the concept of individualism, which is individualism strengthens, this is from Google, strengthens the idea that each person progresses through his own or her own efforts, dedication, focus, effort, personal decisions that are made. And contrary to that, on the opposite side side is communalism, which is confirms that personal achievements come through shared knowledge, common values, and mutual support. And I wanted to bring up this concept of individualism versus communalism because they're complete opposites. If you go to college and you believe I can do everything by myself, I can handle all of these emotions and financial responsibility on top of academic issues by myself, then that's going to be very challenging compared to recognizing that, okay, I am in college by myself, but I also have a community around me supporting me. So I feel like it may be difficult for college students to reach out and to understand that concept of communalism and that you have support around you simply because you can be, I have been so set on the idea that I'm finally an adult, you know?
You better back up. You don't want them problems. I'm
Slow
trying to tell you. Slow it down.
And
Slow
you out
it
there in that
down.
water by yourself, and you exposed to so much. I remember being in college myself. Like everything hit you at once. As soon as you get on campus, it's like it's like boom, like it's an introduction, and you're away from your foundation.
I jumped
Away
out of
from
that
your
water,
foundation.
didn't know how to
A
swim.
lot of us did, yeah, and a lot of us didn't make it.
I almost
I
did.
remember, I remember a few faces that I saw first semester, and I never saw them again.
Yeah.
And they was great to be around and everything. But
Yeah.
I never saw them again. If you don't continue to have that, if you don't embrace your community,
Yeah.
your communal support, I think,
Resources.
or even create more, right? That maybe don't necessarily have to have a similar background as you, but just being around the right people
Right.
is so important. Because when you out there being exposed to things, it's so easy to get around the wrong people. You really got to go to college, man, with the mindset of, responsibility. And a lot of us at 18 didn't have that.
Right.
A lot of us didn't have that. But one thing my mom was doing, thanks, Mom, was calling me every day. Mom was calling me every day. So she was trying to surround me with that. My dad, too. I had other people, that were trying to do that as well. Not that I always took to that, but if I
Right.
would have, then I would have allowed that communal support. I'm in control. I'm in the driver's seat because I'm in college now. So I'm in control of what I take and of what I get. So I gotta
Right.
take some
And what you give out.
and what I get and what I give out. Right, exactly. But I will say one thing with that exposure. I mean, with college in itself, I mean, you're exposed to a lot of things, so you have to be careful. Some things you can get into in college can inhibit your desire, right, to choose the right people. Can inhibit your desire to choose your foundation a lot of times, and can put you on some paths that that otherwise you wouldn't have been on. So we got to be aware of the wrong people. Got to be aware of drugs. Got to be aware
Right.
of alcohol, all that stuff.
You made a great point. I heard you say, like, if we don't have a community, we can somewhat create a community. And that happened to me when I was attending a large PWI. They had a small crowd of African-American students. And this was so abnormal to me because I had spent my entire formative years, K through 12 years, going to having African-American teachers, being around African-American students where I felt very comfortable. So making that transition to a large PWI, I'm like, what is going on here? It took me outside of my comfort zone, and in order to create that sense of community, I joined, and this is a tip for college students. If you feel disconnected from your community, join organizations or join clubs where you all have similar interests so you can develop those friendships and that sense of community and support while you're away from home. And then that also led to my next thought of the culture of college. College has its own, as we know, college has its own culture. Underage drinking may be normalized. Skipping class may be normalized. Doing illegal drugs, like you were saying, Joshua, may be normalized. However, one tip that I've learned in college is to enjoy college, but remember your first priority is to gain your degree. So in order to gain your degree, you have to have set goals in order to reach that. And so one tip that I did in college was I had like a reward system. So if I made a B on my biology exam, I would say, okay, you got to have this work-life balance. Well, school-life balance, I'll say. If I made a B on my biology exam, then I can go out one night over the weekend. And then if I made an A, okay, I'm moving up the hierarchy, I accomplished a goal. I can go out maybe 2 nights out of the weekend. So I use a reward system to make sure that I wasn't always successful, but this is just a tip. But I ideally had a reward system to give myself some fun, give myself some grace, while also first prioritizing my degree.
Yeah.
And that's difficult. I will say it's difficult.
You brought up a good point. So you rewarded yourself with like social things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing my work, then prioritizing my work, then I was social.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. I had a time. I ain't gonna lie.
A time was
I
had.
had a time. And you're absolutely right. The social pressures of, underage drinking and go partying, and you're doing that 3-4 times a week, and don't going to travel to different places to go party and then come back the next day and then go straight to work or go straight to class. I'm not saying I did that or anything, but I'm just saying, it could happen. The social pressures could put a lot on you, because now you put yourself in a position where now my academics are suffering. Now I'm in a financial hole. I don't feel like I can ever get through this. But it goes back to that individualism. Like I have to do it on my own, or I don't need anyone else. And that is something that you're not born with, but you kind of, it's instilled in you, whether that's through positive or negative experiences throughout your life, or do you feel like you're the only person that can depend on yourself? So at college is like my free space where I can now have this individualism instead of being, up under my caregivers or, parents or anything like that. But it is a lot on a young person that doesn't know much about the world. Like, let's think about this. 18, like now people they're not even teaching kids cursive. Mm-hmm. Right? So and sometimes kids probably don't even know how to write a check.
No, they don't.
It's foundational.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't.
See, these are like small little skills that can help you as an adult, that people are not getting these skills, but yet you're saying, oh, I'm grown now. Oh,
right.
No, you ain't. You don't know how to pay this bill. You don't know how to put this in your name. You don't know the process to go put a car in your name or go buy a car. It's a lot of small things that even though you're 18 and in college, you have some freedom, but you're not free.
Right.
And I wouldn't want college students to just try to jump into adulthood until you have, mentorship into adulthood. They're teaching you these life skills that you need, just because you want to be free from a strict environment, or you want to be free from, my caregivers or anything like that. So right. I think in order to better, this is a tip. I guess I'll give you a tip. In order to improve or protect your mental health, don't try to grow up too fast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Take your time to get your feet wet, learn these different skills, so that now when you're able to finally go out there and be this adult on your own, you have the skills in order to thrive as an adult. Right. So that's what I would say.
Y'all, I think a couple of y'all said y'all jumped out into the water when y'all got into college.
Right off the diving board into the 8-foot deep
Jumped off
water.
the porch.
There's an old Negro spiritual that was said, wade in the water.
Yeah.
See, I waded in the water. Now, I got out there, but I waded that freshman year. Oh, I just eased out there little by little. I didn't go to a party every time I was scared. I ain't never been to a party before. My parents were strict. Y'all mentioned like drugs and alcohol and all of that. I didn't necessarily do that my first semester because I didn't know. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I got a very, very good group of friends first. And that good group of friends saved me in so many ways. I ain't gonna say they didn't allow me. Ultimately, it was God that didn't allow me. Mm-hmm. But they influenced me not to do certain things that I was interested in doing. Ecstasy came out at the time that I was in school. I never participated in it. I ain't gonna say I didn't want to, but I didn't get there because the friend group that I was with, they wasn't trying to do it, and they wouldn't encourage me to do it. Now, the other little things that we might have got ourselves into, but I had a very, very good group. Josh, you talked about your mom calling you. Well, my mom didn't call me, but she prayed that I get the right group of friends. And I'll tell y'all, I kid y'all not, I went to orientation before my freshman year, and I went to a PWI. That orientation, it was 4 black guys there, including myself. So I met all 3 of those guys. We met we talked amongst each other, and we made a pact. We made a pact that we were going to graduate college. And the three of the four of us ended up graduating. And the one that didn't graduate, he only one class away from graduating. And it just came down to financial aid. We didn't remain tight all the way through. I'm still cool with, again, 3 of the 4 that graduated. I'm cool with the other one too, but I don't keep up with him as often as I do the other ones. But we maintained a friendship throughout, and we kind of went our separate ways and found our way. But that group helped me. I mean, I remember I didn't know how to study when I first got to the campus, and then my roommate that my mama prayed for, unbeknownst to me, had me studying on a Saturday morning.
Wow.
We start class on Thursday. On Saturday, I'm studying. I don't even know what to study. You got your syllabus, but you don't really know. And as you go through school, you realize that the professor have a syllabus, but they don't always follow that syllabus, right? So I'm studying what's on the syllabus, not knowing that I'm not going to need all that information. But that particular roommate ended up being very studious, and that was beneficial to me because I was just kind of waiting until the test, and then I'll study. But that community is so important.
It is.
Wading in the water before you jump out there and start diving and trying to swim immediately. Nah, man, you play a little bit with what you know that you can overcome or get through before you go out there and jump out there. But
so with
y'all saying a lot.
So with those who do get out there and jump out there, like, how do they get back?
Gotta have a life vest. That's what I tell you.
Don't get out there too far.
But when you do,
going back to community, I didn't have to do this. I seen it done. I was talking to a young lady at the time we was in undergrad, and she jumped out there. And next thing you know, she started coming home every weekend. And then she regained her foundation.
Okay.
So for her, it was going back to her base.
Your first love.
As she got out there. But go ahead.
I like how you said that, going back to your base and going back to your foundation. And what I'm hearing is that she went back to those core values. It sounds like when she jumped off in the deep end, she may have lost focus or forgot about those core values that she once stood on, which made her the great individual she was. So she went back to her core values.
Yeah.
And 2 other tips that I would give college students is, one, we've all talked about how fun college can be, but my tip is to have responsible fun. It's okay to go to college and enjoy yourselves, meet new friends, go to parties, but have responsible fun and, stay protected and safe. And then one of the other tips I would I would suggest to college students to just manage your mental health is to stay organized. And when I say stay organized, this entails keep your academics organized, your journal, your planner organized, keep your laptop organized, so don't have all types of files for a different class all over your laptop where it just creates stress just to open up your laptop because you don't even know where to start.
Got 20 tabs open.
Right. Keep your phone organized. And with keeping your phone organized, that means maybe using timers, maybe setting boundaries on how much you use your phone and limiting those distractions just to stay organized.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I think the a running joke right now is how many unread messages you have on your phone.
Man,
but is that a challenge?
I don't have none. I don't have none. I got one.
You don't want to know.
I got one.
You might have more than me.
I got none.
How many
okay,
you got?
None. I got 66.
God, I know not to text you.
But if you got so many text messages coming in,
1,130 unread messages. Is this
Are
text
those
messages?
emails? Or?
Those emails or those are text messages? Just text. You got
1,130.
1,130.
My fiance gonna get she know I'm crazy with these unread messages too, but she don't know. So last she checked, I think I had like 5.
Wait a minute, hold up.
I think I had
That's
like 5.
So are you trying to tell me I text you, you may or may not look at my text?
Nah. So you talking about you specifically?
Yeah.
Oh, let me look at your last text.
That's what. Now he got 1129.
You got to go back to see when the last time I texted.
Oh no, you not on red.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. You not on red.
All right. Well, I know not to text you.
1130 messages.
Yeah.
But the point is to stay organized.
Yeah, the point is to stay organized. But how do I stay organized? Delete some of those text messages.
Yeah.
Go ahead and open them. Go ahead and read them. Because when you have 1130, right, and somebody new texts you, that's going to get caught up in that. If a person texts him now, it's going to be 1131. So he ain't going to be no more prone, unless it's his fiance, he's going to be no more prone to open that up than he was for the other 1130.
I think how I mess up too, y'all, is because like when the conversation is at an end and they be like, thanks. Or they be like, or they like, hey, that meant a lot. Okay, the conversation over.
But
then I don't
you
even
read
open
that
it.
one.
I should click it sometimes, but sometimes I'm going during my day and I'm like, oh, okay, I see that.
Oh,
but
okay,
I
I got
but
you,
I never open it.
Okay,
So,
okay, I got you.
So let's hope that the majority of those 1130 is those type
But
of
then,
situations.
if you didn't, all right. So
shocked.
you said that I get what you're saying. So if me and you texting back and forth,
Yeah.
and then my last text was appreciate that, man, thank you. You see that I'm ending the conversation, right? And so you're not going to open it. But what if I text you after that? It's not going to add to. It's going to be unread. So something's going to be up under that, but you only read the one that happened
I'm
in
gonna
the
see your
meeting.
latest one. No, I'm gonna see. It's gonna show me your latest text though.
So you just choose not to open it.
Yeah, pretty much, that's what he's saying.
Sometimes I will, like if I get bored or something. But I guess I don't know.
And the moral of the story: don't
Moving
text
around
Josh.
Don't text Josh.
Don't text
and
Josh.
Stay organized.
You
That's what I
shouldn't be
do.
texting me nowhere if you ain't my
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Or you ain't my.
Stay organized.
But seriously, college students, like your mental health matters, and there are resources out there. I know many campuses have a college wellness center where they have counselors that you can seek help from. Communicate to your instructors if you're going through a rough period when it comes to your mental health or even general health. Communicate to your support system, to your community, to your family, to your friends that you need some extra support, and support yourself. Support yourself. Find out some hobbies or different activities you can do to ease your mind and ease your stress away from the academic or away from the different challenges you experience in college. So just enjoy life.
And clean your room.
Clean your room.
Organize.
Clean your room. Organize your
messy
room.
and
Yeah.
a messy mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Declutter.
Like quite literally. Yeah. Clean your room.
Beautiful. How y'all feel about it? How y'all feel about today's episode?
Feeling great.
I'm gonna feel good if I don't text you.
That's funny. But see, y'all got everything out though? You
Yeah,
feel
we
like?
got that we're going to
Y'all
be
shared some
hesitant to
personal stuff, I
text
feel
you.
like.
It's a personal stuff to get off the chest.
Had to get it off.
Yeah, it was. It was. I think it was a good episode, really good episode. But there are ultimately, if we're thinking about problem solving, right? There's a problem. There's a solution to that problem, and you can either find that through a therapist, you can find that through your community, you can find that by listening to a podcast where they give you some tips. Not to say that that's to replace your therapeutic services, but there is a solution for your problem. You're not the only one in the world that's been through that more often than not. So there is a solution. So you just gotta figure out how you're gonna get to that solution, either through your community therapist or otherwise.
All right.
So great conversation, y'all. I know we talked about your cash app, putting that out there like that. We talked about mental health.
My
in
cash
students.
app is Curve and Service.
Don't be begging.
Yeah.
Don't be big. But great conversation, y'all. So once again, it's been Speaking with Gravity. Thankful to have everyone. Thank you for tuning in. If you found this episode insightful, please be sure to subscribe and to leave us a review. Please leave us a review. Let us know how you feel about everything, even your experiences, right? We want to hear about that too. And someone reading the comments may need to hear your specific experience. It may be inspirational for them. So please leave those reviews. And as always, please take care. Take care of your mental health. Take care of your mental well-being. And continue to have those important conversations. Until next time, we are Speaking with Gravity.
Y'all take care.